Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. In this video, I will be talking about harful العين. It is similar to harful الجيم والحاء والخاء in a few ways, but has its differences as well. This right here on the left is the full letter with all its proportions. I know it can seem a little confusing on your practices, as it's gonna say that this head is actually two nuqtas with this extra space, and it's been confusing from all the sources I've checked. I've seen multiple individuals write harful العين, and each person does it a little bit differently. Some people do the head two nuqtas, some of them do the nuqta, and some of them have this portion a little different. So I had to go back to what I can say as the ultimate or higher source of information. So I looked up كراسة خط رقعة للبغدادي, عباس البغدادي. He's a really popular calligrapher. You can even see his works, and you've probably seen some of his works already. And I referenced him for the information on the head for harful العين. And the conclusion I understood was that the first portion, the head area, is one nuqta, as you can see. And the second nuqta that is typically confused is the spacing between this and this. So the head, the tip of the head, and the tip of the elongated body portion, that's the third part to draw. That's what makes up the total of two nuqtas in this head region. So remember that when you trace your homeworks and understand these proportions. As for the body, very similarly to harful الجيم والحاء والخاء, it is three nuqtas in height. There is a nuqta spacing between the head and the body, so it's about a nuqta space out of the head, and it is three nuqtas wide or long for the base. And you notice that similarly to harful الجيم حاء خاء, the tail or the body ends here, then you draw out the tail. Now in harful الجيم والحاء والخاء, you notice that the head is the determinant for that. In this one, it's the tip of the third stroke. That is the determinant of where the body ends and the tail starts. For the body in harful العين, it's a little different than harful الجيم والحاء والخاء. It's simpler, so you start higher, holding the pen at the correct angle, and you're just gonna drag down and out, and then you go vertical as soon as you reach the wall that you want to reach. So it's a simpler motion than rather in harf al-jim al-ha al-kha, where it's like more of a down and out. This is just simply a slap on the paper and then out, then down, as you can see in the arrow I drew here. The base is exactly the same as harf al-jim al-ha al-kha, no differences. It's just a down and out, then slight up motion in the end. Again, you remember that we talked about jim, mim, ayn, ha, right? These four letters in Arabic that go below the line. So imagine this is the red line, goes below the line. Harf al-ayn is one of those as well. So same thing as harf al-jim and al-kha. This goes, it's about right here, right above this first nuqta, where this portion goes below the line. Let's start with the strokes on this letter. The first one, as we said, was an up and then curve. Make sure you don't go too far up, because this is only a nuqta's worth. So let's begin with that. Bismillah. And I went a little too far, so I'm gonna have to adjust it a little bit. The second portion, once we have the preparatory curve, I'm not gonna start where I left off like we did or like we do in a lot of different letters. In this situation, I'm gonna start halfway new and halfway on. So I'm gonna just dot it like that. Half of this portion was new and this portion was old from the preparatory curve. And the reason for that is because I'm going to drag down and out, as you see. Now, I made a mistake here, and I'd like to point out what it is for future reference. You notice that the head here was a straight drag up, and that you don't want this sharpness to be there. You want it to be more like this, where it's a curve up and down. So that's why this right here is incorrect. It's not a drag up and then down. It is a curve up and then curve down. It's a little curvy of a letter, so be aware of that while you're conducting the strokes. The body is going to start where this portion is, right here. And again, you want to have the right angle and just drag out and down. Restart where I left off and go out and down to where I want. You can adjust this by fixing it as following. And you notice that this stroke is pretty simple. There is not much complexity to it. And the last portion is going to be, you're going to start just like with the jim, ha, kha, you're going to start where you left off, go down a little bit, and then out. And then once you reach this point, you want to draw it and color it in. This point right here, again, we said is where the tip of the body is. And that's going to determine where the body stops of the bottom portion. And this is going to be about a nuqta's worth out. This is going to be 3 nuqtas high. And this is going to be 3 nuqtas wide, just like with harf al-jim ha kha. You're going to have a nuqta right here. And that's going to be the wall that you're going to hit as you go down. And then you're going to have a nuqta here, where the third portion is going to go, or is going to be as far out as a nuqta from where the head is, or the beginning of the head is. And then the head is a nuqta. I hope this helps. If you've noticed, the body of العين is more egg shape than the body of الجيم حاء خاء. That's because this has a little bit of an adjustment in the beginning before you start going out and down. But it is more, you notice it's more of an egg shape and easier to see, so that you can follow that shape along as you're drawing the letter. Again, I'd like to mention that this should be more curved as in this one. And inshallah this was helpful. If you have any trouble working on harf al-ain, because I know it can be a difficult letter, and I've had my trouble myself in working in this, let me know, send me an email or put it in the comments. I will follow up and check with you guys as much as I can working on this letter. So please reach out to me if you have any trouble. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.